welcome back to my channel. Today's video is so much fun. You're looking at me right now, but can you tell what half of my face is drugstore and what half is high-end? Like, you guys, I'm wearing two different lipsticks right now. Like, can you tell? So yeah, basically I did one half of my face using all high-end products, and then the other half of my face is all drugstore products. And I was inspired to do this video because I watched one of Heart's videos from That's Heart, and I think she's done this a few times now, and every time I watch it I'm like, that's so much fun, it's so creative, and it really makes you kind of play around with the products that you have at home. Or honestly, if you're on a budget, which I totally respect, I feel like it's so worth taking the time to experiment with drugstore products because a lot of them do what high-end products do. You just have to find the right ones. So if you guys want to see what I use to create this full face, keep on watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hi, if you're new, I'm Trina. Okay, let's start. I'm gonna start off with the Estee Edit Pore Vanishing Stick for my high-end side, which I'll be doing on this side, and then I'm going to use the NYX Pore Filler for my drugstore dupe. I think more importantly for the idea of this video is that I use products that are going to do the exact same thing. So these don't actually look the same, but they do the same thing. The idea is to put this over top of your pores, and it's just going to smooth them over and basically fill in the pore so that it's not noticeable when you apply makeup. And now I'm going to go in with the NYX product, and this one you have to squeeze, and then you just I think I dropped some. And I usually apply this to my T-zone because that's where, unfortunately, I find that I have the most pores. There's no real way to show you just how well a pore filler works, but you guys get the idea. They pretty much apply the exact same. They feel the exact same on the skin. Now for foundation, I've been loving the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. You guys have been telling me to try this for years. I finally did. I did a full review on it right here if you guys want to check it out. And my drugstore is going to be the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. Now I don't feel like these are a complete dupe for one another, but I do feel pretty darn similar. They give the same effect. They're very radiant, glowy looking foundations. I'm going to use my beauty blender because this is the tool that I use every single day of life. So on one side I'm going to do one pump of the Luminous Silk. Now even when I did a first impression of this foundation, I feel like I chose a color that was a little bit too dark, a little bit too yellow for my skin tone, but for a $70 foundation, I'm gonna make it work. Now what I'm gonna do is just flip the side of the beauty blender and apply the foundation to the untouched side and apply it to my drugstore side. I feel like they look pretty darn similar. Like they both look glowy and radiant without that really oily look. You do still need to set them, but before that I need to go in with concealer. Now for my high-end side, I'm going to use the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, and for my drugstore dupe, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I've actually put these two to a test, head to head. I did a full video on that back in the day actually. I'm going to link that for you guys right here as well. You have to go and check it out. So I'm just applying it in like a triangle underneath the eye, and what I normally do is bring it down onto the freckling that I have on my cheeks just to provide a little bit more coverage. What I like to do with the Maybelline one is give it like a minute on the skin to sit there and kind of thicken up a little bit, because I feel like the Nars is a little bit thicker than the Maybelline, so once you let it sit on the skin, it does start to thicken up, and I feel like it provides a little bit more coverage. What do you guys think? Pretty good, right? I just cannot stand all this creasing that's going on the eyelids, so I need to set the face. So for that, this was my holy grail. It still is. I feel like this will be one of my favorite products forever, but it's the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Powder, and then I'm going back to my old school love, which was the Makeup Forever Pro Finish Powder. They both do the same thing. They mattify my skin and set my foundation. So I'll just take some product. Oh, I took a lot of product. I forgot you don't need a lot of this at all. And I'm just going to tap that over the skin. And then I'm just going to flip my brush and use the Maybelline on the other side. Alright, we have got to get some brows on. So for my high-end product, I'm using the Anastasia Brow Definer, and for my drugstore dupe, I'm using the NYX Sculpt and Highlight Brow Contour. So I feel like the only difference between these two products is The fact that this one is a little bit more of a triangular shape, like it has more of an angle, and this one is more of a rounded, pointed tip. They both apply as a creamy product. Oh, another obvious thing is the fact that this one comes with a spoolie, which is so helpful, and this one unfortunately doesn't. It comes, well, it's cool, because it comes with like a highlighter, a cream highlighter for under the brow, but you do have to have like an extra spoolie laying around, or in my case, I always carry two because I'll use this one to kind of whoop, and then go and fill it in, or you know. So I got that one on there, and now I'm gonna go in with the NYX one. What do you guys think about this whole microblading thing? Like, I am so curious about it because I was like, how cool would it be to wake up and not have to do your brows? I personally think that I like the NYX side better, but it could be because I think that this side is my better brow. You know how we always feel like there's one brow that's better than the other? It's like that saying, brows should look like sisters, not twins. You know? We need to get rid of this eyelid creasing, so the only way to do that is apply an eyeshadow base. And so for this, I'm using the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. This has been like a love of my life for many years because it works so well. And then I also enjoy using the Maybelline Color Tattoo eyeshadow base as well. The only difference between these two is I have yet to find a color in the Color Tattoos that is the same as the Soft Ochre. So I've Maybelline, let's make one that looks identical to this without that pearlized finish, because there is one that's light, like a lighter tone, but it has a pearlized finish. And because of the color of this one, it's very similar to my skin tone, many people's skin tone. You can apply it all the way up to the brow bone. Now the Color Tattoo applies a little bit darker. It's still not like super dark or anything, but I feel like I can't take this one up too high because like the brow bone should never be darker than the rest of your eye. You always want that area to pop. For a lot of my everyday eyeshadow looks, I tend to use the Tartelette and Bloom palette a lot. There's just so many good shadows in here. So I feel like the e.l.f., this one is called the Mad for Matte palette. Let me open it. Oh, I just flicked one of the shadows with my nail. Anyways, I feel like this palette has a lot of really good dupes for the higher end shadows. So to start, I'm going to take this shadow right here, which is called Flower Child. And oh, I always forget how pigmented these are. And I'm just going to apply this all over the lid. I'm just going to clean this brush off because I really like it for applying my base shadows. And then using the e.l.f. palette now, I'm going to take this shadow that I dug my nail into. Oh, so pigmented as well. And apply that over here. Oh, okay, I was totally afraid this was gonna happen. You see, the color of that base that I used, the Color Tattoo, is totally throwing off my shadow color. I have to correct myself. These two formulas are like identical. The color choices, not so much. I gotta totally take this off. Instead of using the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, which is what I want to do, I'm going to show you another way that you can get the same effect, and that's just applying a little bit of the concealer to your lids. We'll powder it, and then we'll apply shadow over top. Alright, we're all caught up. Now it's time to go back in with the e.l.f. shadow. That's a lot better. This side's a little bit more flesh tone, this side's a little bit brighter and lighter, but once we do a little bit of blending in the crease, they will look more similar. So now I'm going to use Smarty Pants and just place that in the crease. And you don't want too dark of a color in here, you just want to kind of bring the shadows together and make everything blend. That's about as much as I want to do. Now I'm just cleaning off my brush, and I'm going to use this color from the e.l.f. palette, do a few swipes, and apply that in this crease. I was really surprised with how velvety and smooth they applied. I feel like they look pretty bang on. Like you'd never be able to look at me and be like, that girl's wearing two different eyeshadow palettes on her eyes. I'm a big fan of the MAC Boot Black Liquid Liner. It has one of these kinds of tips. This is going to be my my stomach just growled so loud. And then I'm going to use the Rimmel Exaggerate Liquid Eyeliner. This is waterproof, and it also has that same kind of tip. Same quality, it lets you apply it the same way, but I feel like the MAC dries a little bit more matte versus the Rimmel. Okay, nobody look directly at them. Okay, I'm just kidding. But maybe it's not my best wing liner day. I feel like I had such a hard time trying to make them look even because the pressure was on. But I feel like the liner itself looks pretty freaking close. I think I might even like this side better. Mascara time. We need to get this going here. High-end, I'm using the Lancome Grandiose Mascara, and drugstore dupe, I'm using the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. Both of these are supposed to give your lashes a fan effect. Now I'm gonna finally go in with a little bit of bronzer, contour, highlight. For this, okay, I love both of these palettes. For my high-end, I'm using the Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duo, and then for my drugstore side, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Contour. For the Makeup Forever side, this bronzer is pretty warm, so I'm going to try and go a little bit more light-handed with it, but I'm just going to apply it to the contours of my cheeks. Now I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal product and apply that to this side. It's just a little less warm, and when I say warm, I mean like less bronzy than the other side, but it's still doing the trick. It's giving my face some structure, contouring up the cheekbones. So the blushes that I'm going to be using are the Benefit Dandelion Blush for high-end, and drugstore is the CoverGirl True Blend Blush. I'm using the palette here, but I'm going to give you the individual price for this because you can buy Dandelion on its own. I'm going to apply this to the cheeks, the apples. Alright, now I'm going in with the CoverGirl one. And the thing that these two have in common is that, well, obviously the color, but they both have like an illuminated glow to them, so there's color plus a glow. I love that about these. I'm going in with the Makeup Forever Gold Highlight, just right here. Now L'Oreal. This one is definitely a softer highlight, but it still does the trick. Like you're still getting a glow. It took me a little bit of time to find close enough dupes for lipsticks here, but for my high-end, I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Artist Rouge Cream Lipstick. The number is C303. And for my drugstore dupe, I'm using CoverGirl's Katy Kat Matte, the Katy Perry lipsticks in Coral Cat. So there's Makeup Forever's, and now I'm going in with the CoverGirl. I gotta say, I think they look exactly the same. What do you guys think? And I haven't like smudged them together to mix the colors. For my high-end setting spray, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay All Nighter. And for my drugstore dupe, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Makeup Extender Setting Spray. How are we gonna do this? Oh, you know, the most ideal thing in here, these pulled pork coupons from Quiznos. Like, why not? Good. And final side. What the? That one's empty. Don't worry, I have another one. Okay, final side. So that's the look. You guys, I had so much fun filming this video. I'm honestly in disbelief of how good it looks. I didn't know if it was gonna turn out this good, but I feel like I'm like way more impressed than I thought I would be. Let me know what side you guys liked more. Did you like the high-end side, or did you prefer the drugstore side, or would you be completely happy with either or because they both look the same? If you guys would like to see me do another one of these videos, let me know that too, because again, I had so much fun. Maybe in the next one I could do more of like a glam look, because today's look was a little bit more natural, minimal, something that I would wear every day. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. Don't forget to check out my vlog channel. It's called Life with Trina, to see everything that I'm doing when I'm not filming these beauty videos. And I will see you in next week's video. Thanks for watching. Bye.